convention, which is awesome. Some of you did not, and that is fine. But guys, I just want to push on you a little bit, in a nice way. We have our Midwest Builders School coming up. About to give you the dates in like 4 seconds. So I want you all to write down the dates in your phone, on your notebook, whatever you need to do. Those dates for Midwest Builder School, it's taking forever to pull up. Sorry, 1 second. And tickets will go on sale in like 2 weeks, I believe, for this. Um, so let's see. It'll be October 18th and 19th, which by the way is the day after my birthday. So if you like me, you should definitely come. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do a lot of cool stuff for you guys. We're really excited about that. It is gonna be, as far as I know, in Sterling Heights, Michigan. It's the Midwest Builder School. So if it's not in Sterling Heights, it'll be somewhere in that general vicinity, but they typically do that there. And so that is the next big event that we're going to be rallying everybody to. Guys, our goal in our base shop is to have 50 people attending. Okay. Which realistically means we're going to need to get about 70 tickets sold for that. Okay. So here's the reason why we want to rally to big events, because we're going to go over a recap of convention tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about what was said and some things that some of the guys and girls on this call picked up. But what you're not going to be able to do is get the feeling that you got sitting in the room with 50,000 other people that are all going through something. So like everyone there is working through something, right? Everybody's got something going on. And so you got to get to the room. Okay, so I want to challenge all of you right now. If you're in the redemption hierarchy, I want to challenge you all. And Charles, I don't know where you're going for Build Next Builder School or whatever. So sorry if this is your team does not relate to them. And I know Eric's team is also going to Midwest Builder School. So Midwest Builder School, guys, it's going to be incredible. And I'll tell you guys, coming out of convention, Taylor and I are more motivated, more excited, more fired up, more committed than we've been um, in a very long time, if not ever. We, for without going into details, for about the last 6 months, we've really been holding back, frankly. Like I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys, because we've just been dealing with some personal stuff and some stuff with home office that we needed to make sure was squared away, and it just the timing was right that it made sense for us to do that. And that stuff has been resolved and we're ready to rock and roll. And like so like Dana and Tammy, Karen, like those some of the guys that were at convention, they can attest, hopefully at least, to this. I was busting my butt while we were there setting appointments. I set about 50 appointments from Wednesday to today. Just all direct recruits and kitchen table appointments. And the reason I'm doing that, and I'm not trying to brag and I'm not trying to make you feel like that's what you have to do, but I'm going to show you what it looks like to lead from the front, to work your butt off and to make some money, because this business is really fun when you're making money. This business is really not fun when you're not. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Like I love Primerica. I love this business. I love what we do for people. And if you're taking notes, you should write this down. This business is so easy or so simple, but it's not easy. Okay, Primerica is the simplest business in the world. I really believe that. All you got to do is get people to district leader. That's it. You get somebody to district leader and you do that over and over and over and over again, you're going to build duplication in your business. You're going to build income for yourself and for your team. Guys, you're going to help a lot of clients doing that. And so what we're going to do tonight is go over some of the biggest takeaways that people had. So I'm going to just at random call on people that were there. And we're just going to kind of chat through it. And Dana, I'm going to have you go first. Okay. So if Dana says something and like Tammy, you're like, yeah, that like resonated with me or that reminds me of something, feel free to hit like the raise hand button if you want to, guys. And what I want to do tonight is going to be a little bit more of like a locker room style coaching session rather than, okay, this is this, and I have a very fancy presentation put together for you all. And we'll just let this go for whatever amount of time makes sense. If you all get into a string of good questions and we're having a good conversation, we'll go a little bit long. And if it ends a little bit early, it ends a little bit early, so be it. But I want to give you guys as much value in as short amount of time as I can. So Dana, this was your first convention. I kind of interview you guys when I'm talking to you, but Dana, this was your first convention, right?
Yeah.
And have you been to any other big events?
I went to the Sterling Heights Builder School about a month after I started.
Back in what, April, right? May?
Yeah, yeah, it was shortly after I actually had surgery.
Okay, awesome. And um, Dana, what would you say was the biggest difference of the convention to the builder school in terms of like the environment or like what you felt going into the room or the like, do you understand what I'm asking? Like why
Yeah, yeah.
different?
So like the Builder School definitely gave me like a kick in the butt, like a fire to take this, like my commitment more seriously. The convention, like it transformed my mind and my confidence of what I know and how to portray it to the clients. So now when I make my phone calls, I am a lot more confident and just like being like, you guys just need to set an appointment with me because this you're missing out on the biggest opportunity of your life, whether it's a recruit, any of the services we offer, because we do have by far the best services in all of North America. So it was just like seeing that perception of the transformation of my thinking. And now I'm not, I think I made like 4 or 5 phone calls today. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not a phone caller since I started. So it's just been a big difference. I'm not nervous to call. But yeah.
What was what was something that you heard that and if you can like say like who said it, that would might be helpful because
Oh my gosh, I knew
I
you were
can
going to
flip
ask me that.
yeah, I can flip
It's
to my notes too, but and try to maybe help as well. But what was one or two things that you heard from people on the stage, or maybe you picked up in like a conversation off to the side or something like that? What was something that you heard that really motivated you or changed your perspective or something like that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually just found one right now. Peter Schneider. Um, he said the doubts you have are yours. Like you are pretty much in your own way. And then another person is so I'm not gonna lie, I don't read books. So when you guys tell me to read, like I do audiobooks, but um the one gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he was like, everybody asks me what books I read, and I say the book A Damn Appointment. Like you don't even like just get your
Brad
appointments
Gerard.
booked. Yeah.
That was Brad
Like
Gerard.
I just love the transparency and just the straightforwardness of everything and just yeah. I just that's what I need to hear. Like just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like that's
Yeah,
just
that
how I
was
perceive
good.
things.
I um I wrote down from Brad Gerard actually. No one fails because they think too big. They fail because they think too small.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that resonates with anybody, but like I've seen so many people come into the business and like, man, I just want to make 500 bucks a month. Like my goal
Mm-hmm.
this month is one by one. And
Mm-hmm.
the reality is that in my opinion, I would say my opinion, but I think this is like a general rule of thumb across most leaders in Primerica will tell you if you're not double digit recruiting every month and like intentionally field training people to grow, you're going backwards. Like you're really not making progress. Um, so I love that. Was there anything else that stood out to you, Dana? We'll circle back around to if we have time at the end, maybe. Was there anything else that stood out to you? I think you're muted. You're muted. Everything you just said,
Okay,
we can
yeah.
hide, so start
Just
over.
just like getting the perception of like just realizing it really isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. So listening to $1 million earners say, I didn't make a nickel in my first 5 months, just like hit me like, okay, I'm not failing at this, just because I haven't had the numbers I wanted. It's like I can still thrive as I keep going. And then obviously my husband Malcolm was there. He's not even in the business yet. We're gonna get going on that very shortly here soon. But um yeah, he's I think just going also it's just made our partnership that much stronger and realizing what we can accomplish.
That's awesome. And I'm gonna pick on you for a minute, Malcolm. What's up, man? Great to see you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I was really excited to see you at convention. This was your first Primerica event, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. What'd you think? Coming from not really knowing what you're getting into, not being in a not never going to an event, like what was your if you're looking back and you had to put the weekend in like a sentence or two, what would you say?
Well, me not knowing that much about it, I mean, the first thing I'm going to notice is what I can see, and that is the celebration and the recognition of everybody that, succeeded. It's really nice to be able to see someone or, people being celebrated. And sometimes I think that show somebody that you are doing, right, and you are doing well. So that was like, I mean, since I'm so new to this, what I pick up on is mostly what I see, not so much what I
Yeah,
hear. So
that's good. What was something that I guess, well, let me ask you this. Why did you go? Like, what made you decide you wanted to go? Because you're not licensed yet, right? Like, you're not running appointment.
also, I'm like, what I did notice, and Dana said it before I even went, is that most of the people that succeeded, they had a partnership that to do it. And obviously most of the partnerships were a relationship of some sort, whether it be boyfriend, girlfriend, or, husband, wife. So I do feel that, in a relationship, you have to be supportive, even if it's something that you may not be very interested in. So that's the reason I went. I wanted to be supportive, and she obviously was showing me that she was very adamant that it's something she wanted to try. And me pulling back and pulling down on her is not giving her the best chance of succeeding at it. So that's why I went. So when I went, and the other thing was, I can remember when she first started talking to me about it, was my job, because my job is super dangerous. I talked to her all about it. Most jobs you can make a mistake and, not be worried about possibly, dying. My job, it's, if you move 1 inch the wrong way, you're done. So, if we can get this kicked off and going in the right direction, I told her if we hit a certain amount of money or certain amount of income, I'd quit my job.
Yeah.
And that's probably what got me going in the the right direction for this too as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what was one of your bigger takeaways or something you heard, and maybe you might not know who said it, that's fine. But if you do, that's a bonus. But like, what was something you heard or picked up on this weekend that stood out to you?
All the vacations and yet you're still making money.
All the travel, all the different places you can go, right? Um,
So with my job, so with my job, I don't get paid any money when I'm off. There's no PTO or anything like that. I mean, our general foremans and stuff like that, they get that. But me as a journeyman lineman, they pretty much tell you to take off as much time as you can afford, meaning if you have the money and the funds to do it and it's not going to hurt you in any way, you can take as much time off as you want. But of course, that's only in if it's not an inconvenience to them at some point, you know.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. And so we have a ton of new people on tonight. So what I want to like, he's talking about the trips and the travel and things like that. And like, so a lot of the one, so Art Williams built our business. So he said it's 50% the dream and 50% the crusade, right? The crusade is what we do, why we do it, how we do it, how we help families. That's the biggest part of the crusade. The dream is like the life you're gonna have when it's built, right? Like the income that you make, and once it's built, your income will keep coming in, guys. This is the craziest thing is like, even in Primerica, even if you build your business poorly, Charles, right? Like, even if you build a bad business, but you build it big enough, you're going to have an income that continues to come in, right? And guys, some people, I mean, I know people in Primerica have been here for 30 years. They make like 100 grand a year, but they don't do a thing. Like I meet them at the company trips. I talk to them at the company trips. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, well, after this, we're gonna go get on our boat. We're gonna go to the Bahamas for 3 months. We're gonna come back. I'm like, what in the world? And the money just keeps coming in. Why? Because they've built distribution. I want you all to write that down. Distribution. That is the one thing that we are. Primerica is we are the #1 financial services distribution company in the world, right? And what I need you to understand is that if you think, and this might step on toes a little bit, and I'm sorry, Charles, I know you're getting out of this mindset, right? So if you think that you got to be really good at insurance, investments, mortgages, different, all these different things, if you think that that is the #1 thing that you need to focus on, you are not in the same Primerica as most of the $1 million earners, because a lot of the $1 million earners, even the $100,000, $200,000 earners that have it built and built solid, they have distribution, meaning they have other people within their office that are also running businesses, right? And that's the beautiful thing about our business. And guys, give it up for Dana and Malcolm. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next person in a second, but give it up for them. But one of the cool things about this business, and Malcolm just kind of hit the nail on the head. I could go on vacation tomorrow forever, and Dana and Malcolm need to still make sales to make money, right? And when they do that, they get paid, and also I get paid off of that. Right. By the way, that's a business. When you go to work at your job, you get paid. And guess who else also gets paid because you're there doing your job? Your boss's boss, the owner, the shareholders. Right? That's just how it works. But the cool thing about that though, guys, is because Dana and Malcolm have the ability to earn full ownership of their business. They're probably going to care a little bit more about that than they are about their job, right? Like Malcolm, you'll never earn or own the work sites that you're doing all the electrical work on, right? So you do the best job ever, but it's never going to be something that you own that you can cash in on later, right, guys? Here, you bust your ass for 3 to 5 years. I'm just keep real with you. You work your butt off like hard, like you go to work and you bust it for 3 to 5 years. You're done. It's built. You're free, right? Like that's what you got to understand. So, Tammy, your video looks like it's good. I know you're driving. Are you able to unmute and talk while you're doing that? Is that possible? If not, that's okay. Maybe, perhaps. She's trying. I see. Don't get into a car accident, Tammy. We'll come back to you in a minute. All right, Karen, mother, hello. Tammy, we'll come back to you, okay? Mom, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can, guys. Look, I can see my mom. It's blurry, but she's out there. On the on the deck. She's over there. But cool, Mom, this was not Karen. This was not your first convention, correct?
Correct. It was not.
What were you going to this convention looking to get out of it?
Probably just a renewed fire, I guess. A renewed fire for the business. And so hearing people, like just seeing everything. There was some words that were said from some people that, do you want me to say them? No.
Yes. Well, I guess it depends on what it was.
Josh Christian, nothing will change unless I decide to change. Right. So
Yep.
we can keep doing the same thing, but if I don't decide to change what I'm doing or whatever, it's not going to change. And something else, he's like, people are counting on me. Well, I have adult kids and grandkids. I don't have my little kids around anymore, but that's another thing. I was just looking in here while you guys were talking asterisk in things, and I'm like, there's too much things to asterisk. I can't say that word. But something else is Jeff Mallard said, don't hold so tight to what God's given you that you miss your opportunities because you're not open to something else. So he was talking about so many people hold tight to their I'll give him an example. I don't know exactly how he said it, but say they're $20 an hour job because it's a pretty good job, right? They hold so tight to it that they're not open for something that might come that might be better. Or somebody might have a great job that's maybe they're already making $100,000 a year, right? But because their hand's not open to accept things that God might not be bringing to them, they're not open to this opportunity. So in the same way, even after you get started, my mindset has always been, and my life has been a struggle a lot of times, living paycheck to paycheck and everything. And I was thinking about it just a little bit ago, have I held on so tight that I'm just comfortable struggling and having to look at cheap things all the time, not cheap things, or worrying about what I'm going to buy at the store instead of just going and buying whatever, right? So that's one thing. I have stuff that
what would you say your big, what was or is there a commitment made, or was there a decision made, or anything like that at this convention yet? Or are you still kind of processing that stuff?
I think I'm processing it still. I've always, and I said before, and even though it's been difficult, I know that just like Dana said, so many of the $1 million earners that are up there in their first year or 2 years or 3 years, they barely made any money. But then now they're just they're on their average is probably hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, right? So, or whatever it is, but it's hard in the beginning. And the one thing I was thinking of that it's a crock pot business, not a microwave one. I've heard that before, but I don't even know who said that. Actually, I think it was the lady, what's her name? So that what? I heard
So your
something.
grandson busted in the room. Keep going.
He's not my grandson when he's bad. He's your son. So, no, just sorry. um, Julie Seaman said that when she was up there talking about the CRM. I think she's the one who said that. She reminded us it's not a crockpot business because it is a crockpot business. You can't just like all of a sudden have $1 million, right? It's not a lottery, but we have to work on it. And I'm trying to find the other one, the other thing that I was going to say. 1 second. Hold, please. No, but it's Susan Carrion, which recruited Mario Arizon. So the Mario Arizon's upline, she spoke and she said it's in the valleys where we're building the business. So in the hard times and the slow times, she's like, that's where we're building it because we're building ourselves and like struggle like I felt it as like God wants me here and he's teaching me something. It's in our valleys that we're actually continuing to build it because we stay, right? If you stay, if you don't quit, if you quit, you won't be successful. But if you don't quit, like you'll get there. It's a crock pot, right? So anyway.
No, that's good. And one of the things that my notes, all I wrote down from Susan Carrion was these 3 bullet points. Number 1, the tough keep going. Number 2, don't look for motivated people, or sorry, don't look to motivate people. Look for motivated people. That hit me pretty hard. Because I'll be honest with you, like we have 15 people on this call right now. I want to motivate you guys to go out and do something, but at the end of the day, like I'm gonna drive myself bananas, Charles, if I got to chase everybody around to set one appointment. Like I want to find people that want to win, and not just want to win, but actually act like they want to win. They set their 2 appointments a day, right? They get their licensing done. They show up on time with a camera on, right? They're paying attention. They're motivated. That's the type of person I want to find, right? And so like when she said that, I was like, man, that's exactly like that's like where my brain has been for the last few months. And the last thing is actually 2 things. But it's 1, never give up, and number 2, go in for your family. And then she walked off. She's like, never give up, number 1. Number 2, go in for your family, and then turned around and walked away. And it was just really powerful. And yeah, I mean, to give you guys a little bit of context on her, she now has a couple other, $500,000 earners, and she's got a bigger organization now. But when she recruited Mario Arizon, she was barely making $100,000 a year and like struggling. And if you don't know who Mario is our coach. Mario makes a little over $5 million a year across a few different businesses that he has purchased through all Primerica businesses. But he's purchased some businesses. So he's making $500,000 a month. Right. And that hit me pretty hard. I was like, man, like, that's good. Like, don't try to motivate people, or don't try to motivate people. Find motivated people. I thought that was really good. Awesome. Tammy, you want to try to unmute again? Yeah, guys, give it up for Karen in the chat, please. There we go, Tammy. I got you. What's going on? How are you?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for asking. Tammy, this was your first convention, but not first big event, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. What was different about this event than the bigger events that you've been to?
Just seeing all. So I was able to go. So they have like the women's thing, and that's different than the other events. So I was able to go there and listen to the women's speakers. And I did get some takeaways from those. Can you hear me? Because it's raining, so I don't know if I'm yelling or not.
It's a little bit choppy. L's with you, right?
No, he's not. We're in 2 different vehicles.
Okay, we can hear you. Okay, I'll ask you like 2 or 3 questions, and we'll jump off just so it's not super choppy. But so Tammy, what was one of your bigger takeaways from convention, from being there, your first time? Obviously, your son's in the business as well. You've been around for a year and a half or so now. What was one of your bigger takeaways that kind of hit you while you were in convention? Something that you're like, man, that was good, or that's something I can apply.
Okay, so I've been struggling a lot with trying to cope with stuff that's going on within myself. So being listening to them, I don't have my notebook, so I can't tell you. I can't remember who said what.
Yeah, you're good.
But one of the things that they said was life is going to life. So even though there's death and heartbreak and this and that and the third, we still need to move forward. So that kind of hit my soul, because I have been allowing that to kind of like stop me from doing what I need to be doing,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
it does. It does.
And also I can't think of his name, but he was talking about all the people, and then he said that the one lady who only had, she did what, $500 in 1 month and didn't do anything else any other time, and how that one policy made a difference. No, I'm not only trying to do one policy, because I have done more than one policy. Do I need to make more money? Yes, I do. Do I want to make more money? Yes, I do. But just to know that even one policy can make a difference in somebody's life.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. And then Tammy, I'll ask you one last question, just since we're driving out a little sketchy connection. What is one thing that you wanting to do different, or that you're going to be doing different coming out of convention, to get and produce a different result for you in the business?
I've got to get out of my own way and learn. I don't like talking on the phone. I don't like calling people, but I know that that's something that I need to do. Pick up the phone and call people and not text. So that was one thing that they did talk about. Picking up the phone and calling people.
That's good. That's very very important for sure. To make sure that you are picking up the phone. It does make a difference. I know a handful of you guys are newish, and you're starting to set appointments and getting out in the field. And that's awesome. And we definitely want you to do that. The best way to do that is not text messages. The best way to do that is not DMs, right? The other side that I will tell you though is if somebody reaches out to you, so like Lindsay, if I message you, I'm like, hey, I'm interested in the job. It would be weird for you to just immediately call me, right? So, oh yeah, no worries. What, like, how can I help? Like, respond that way, right? But you should be leading and starting the conversations as much as you possibly can, guys, via a phone call, because it shows them that you're real, right? How many of you guys? Let's be honest. Just put me in the Zoom chat. This is you. When you saw the Facebook post on Facebook, you were like, this sounds a little bit like maybe a scam, right? Let's be real, right? You can be honest, right? Okay, how many of you guys now, after seeing what we do, getting your licenses, getting some field training done, how many of you all recognize that it is now not a scam, right? It's not, right? It's a real thing. It's a real viable way to make business, make money. Is it for everybody? No, not necessarily. Not everyone is going to do Primerica. Obviously, we need people that do other jobs, and that's fine. But the reality is, guys, this business it can be so big for you if you let it, right? Elle, are you there? Can you hear me? Elione. Bro, you got a crack right over your camera on your phone, it looks like.
It's annoying that it's cracked right over the camera.
All right, well, cool. I know you're riding back from Atlanta as well. Oh, this was your second convention, yeah, because you joined like right before last one. What were some of your bigger takeaways this time? Just kind of the same questions I was asking these guys, and then from what you're saying, I'll have another question or two for you.
Okay. So one of my takeaways, it actually was, I've come to learn that when we come to big events, a lot of the biggest takeaway from me is typically not even at the event, which is really great. It's usually like a off the wall like conversation that you have with somebody. So that was me meeting the neighbors, actually at the Airbnb. He's a really nice guy and everything, and he's insurance as well. And he seemed like a really great mentor type person and stuff. Sorry, there's like a bus on fire or something. But I was talking with I forget his name. I don't have my notebook either with me. But it was right before everything kind of got started at the I think the second day or Well, you can remind me what day it was. I was telling you about the guy, the $800,000 earner I was talking to.
Yeah.
And just the idea of stay humble and always know that you can always learn more. No matter how much money you make in the business or how long you've been in the business. Just more or less because we were talking, he was giving me some great advice, and he said he was talking about his past and stuff like that, and his story through the business. And he was like, I apologize, I'm not trying to like scare you with the nightmare or whatever. And I just like just like nonchalantly, I was like, expose the nightmare and sell the dream. And he was like, wait, what you just said? I was like, expose the nightmare and sell the dream. He's like, oh my God, that's so good. Like, I gotta write that down. Like, I gotta use that. And so like, and it was like, it made me feel really good knowing that, okay, wait, I just helped the $800,000 earner, like with that little piece of advice. And it's like, what if he goes to $1 million now, $1 million earner now, because I gave him that one little tidbit of something to say, And then my second one was from, I think it was Jimmy Meyer. Don't be a should head or a piece of should. That was very funny. More or less, him explaining that was talking about there's things that we know we should be doing. Don't be that person who should be doing something but never actually doing that thing. And so yeah, those are probably my two biggest takeaways as of right now that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's good. And I'll ask you the same question that I ended your mom's with a second ago. What is something that you're going to be doing to ensure that there is a change that takes place, and we see a different Elion growing in the business? We see, we see something different now, now than what came to convention.
So I'm definitely going to take the time to really sit and write out my why. I don't think I've ever actually done that. Here and there, I'll write some things down, and it's just like, well, it should be a little deeper than that. Like I feel like it's always topical. Yeah, that's more or less writing because that's supposed to go with that. I said last convention, I was like, yeah, I'm going to walk that stage. So I'm going to be more specific with what I say and what I do because, thank Cass for it, if you will. I got to walk the stage, even though I was walking with her across it, like for some moral support and things of that sort. I still got to walk across the stage from 50,000 people plus, And it's just like, wait, dang, I should have been more specific last time. I should say I was walking as a more RVP or $200,000 earner or $300,000 earner, so maybe that would have happened. So just being intentional with what you say and being mindful of your words because they're very powerful. And you manifest the things that you say.
That's good. Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I got special guest, Taylor.
Hi.
My wife. We're in the bedroom of our friend's house that we're staying at doing this meeting while my kids try to burn the house down over there. But Taylor is gonna give you guys some of her takeaways, and then we'll round out the meeting here.
Oh,
It's over there somewhere. One thing I'll say while she's looking for her notebook, one thing, nope, that's not it. Oh yeah, so Miguel Illich talked about how his whole team does the jar challenge. A bunch of y'all have no idea what the heck the jar challenge is, so I will tell you what it is really fast. This is something you should probably write down, because this took Miguel Illich from Charles, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think like 300,000 to he's at like 2.2 million now or something crazy, and it's only been like 3 years. Like it has not been a very long period of time. The craziest part about that is I think he went over 1 million like a year ago, maybe less than that, and now he's over 2, and he should be over 3 by the end of the year, from what he was saying at convention. And he started doing this, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, the jar challenge. Again, I might be wrong, but nonetheless, he exploded his income because of doing this. So here's what he does. So the jar challenge is you need to do one of these 5 things every single day. And you put a piece of paper in the jar, right? So you have a empty jar and a bunch of little scraps of paper. And when you do it, you write what you do and you drop the paper in the jar. If you don't do it for a day, you empty the jar completely. And your goal is to fill the jar all the way up. Okay. So what you need to do is one of these 5 things. So first thing, get a new direct recruit. So that means I personally, Dan, recruit somebody to my personal code. Okay, that does not mean I go on a training appointment with Shelby and I recruit someone for Shelby. Though that is a good thing, that is not a thing that fills the jar. Okay, so a direct recruit, that's number 1. Number 2, I write a personal life insurance sale. I get a new life insurance client. Well, Dan, I rolled over $100,000. That's great. That's a byproduct of you recruiting and getting in the field. And initial appointments lead to life insurance, which then later will lead to the investment on a second or a third appointment. So the investment is a byproduct. That's a good thing, but we're talking specifically life insurance. So I recruit somebody, I get a new life insurance policy. The third thing is I give 3 presentations. Okay, so maybe you have three appointments that show up and everyone says no. Great, you still ran 3 appointments. Not everybody's gonna say yes to you. Like, just sorry if I'm bursting your bubble right now, but not everybody's gonna say yes, right? Some people are gonna say no. Sometimes a lot of people are gonna say no on the same day. That sucks a little bit, but it is what it is. We've all gone through that, right? The fourth thing is you get a new direct license, or sorry, not direct license, excuse me, a new license in your base shop. So you get a new license in your team. So maybe so Dana recruited Shelby, Shelby recruited Bob, and Bob recruited Jim, and Jim got his license. Well, that's a thing in the jar for Dana and for Shelby, right? Because they both got a new license on their team. But for me personally, I'm thinking I got somebody licensed on my team. Good. We're throwing that in the jar. That's a good thing, right? And guys, once you get this thing going, like, these will just happen. Like, you won't have to do anything and it's just going to happen. But in the beginning, you got to get really intentional, not missing this at all. The last thing, so you didn't close a recruit. You didn't get life insurance premium that day. You have you only get 2 presentations, not 3. And giving your cat a presentation does not count as a third one. This is a real human being. So a third presentation, you did not have 3. You only did 1 or 2. And you also did not get a new license on your team. So the last thing is you got 10 names and numbers. So 10, you went out and you prospected and you got 10 names and numbers, or you got 10 actual real contacts and set appointments via social media. Right? If Charles, when I count the prospects as 10 prospects or 10 appointments set through social media. Either of those count for me, you throw it in the jar at that point. So I wrote down, I'm starting the jar challenge again. Once we get back, well, not really even once we get back. I started it the other day. I picked up a recruit the other day. I got a life app yesterday. Today I don't have anything yet. So I gotta set 3 more appointments to fill that out, Charles. But that's my goal. So guys, like, I would encourage you all to get a jar, an empty jar, put it on the middle of your counter. So everyone that comes to your house asks you what it's for. And you just start filling that thing up with paper. So that was one of my bigger takeaways, an action step that I had. So I'm going to let Taylor talk to you all for a few minutes, and then I'll come back on. We'll wrap up the meeting. So give me 1 second. Let me swap seats. No.
Cool. All right. Well, I have a treat for y'all. No. I was helping with the kids during convention. I was able to pop in for a few of the meetings. I'm glad I was able to go to the RVP meeting. And I have something to share about the RVP meeting. And what I have to share from the RVP meeting is just like literally a sliver into why it's so critical to get yourself to RVP and be able to be at the RVP only type meetings and gatherings. They speak a different way, you guys. You need to be there. You got to put yourself in that room, okay? Now, what was funny, before I tell you guys my little takeaway here, we were kind of talking as a little small group after the RVP, or after the first day, and the team was kind of going over takeaways, and I had mentioned something in my takeaway from Joe Ward. And everyone looked stunned for a second, and they were like, Joe Ward spoke? And they were super confused. And I was too for a second. I was like, what do you mean? Like, where were you? And then it dawned on me that Joe Ward was the speaker for the RVP meeting, not for the other ones. And I asked Dan, I'm like, he was speaking at the RVP meeting. What about all the other ones? Is he going to be a speaker too? And Dan said, nope. And I was like, Joe Ward. They don't have Joe Ward speaking at convention. What is this? And I was blown away that I got to hear Joe Ward speak at convention, being the only time that you possibly could. So I'm very grateful for that, for one. So here's something that Joe Ward had spoke about that I really wanted everyone here to kind of think about and kind of mull over. as you start getting ready to launch yourself into this new and excited lit up version of your business that it's going to be from this whole convention thing we just went through, guys. So Joe Ward spoke about growing your business and a mindset around your business, which was you in order to double your business, double your growth, you do that by distribution, by going over the precedence of the distribution. That it's the most important part, it's the most critical part, distribution, and your new recruits need to understand that too. So make sure when you're bringing people on and you have them doing all their orientation stuff, make sure that you're setting the precedence that them finding their first 3 people in like the first 48 hours is critical. Distribution, and it starts direct too, you guys. It starts direct. That is for every single one of you here. It is for every single new person that you bring on. They directly need to be growing as well. You personally need to be growing. You cannot try to do the Primerica lottery here. That does not work. And what I mean by Primerica lottery is finding one person who really wants to just run with this business, who just takes off. Like that's a lottery, you guys. It's not safe odds. And Primerica, the business, is built for the best odds. Like seriously, every single person can win here, but it does require your work, your input, you guys. So here's something to think on as you're, growing your business, talking to new people. Are you focusing on growing your income, or are you focusing on growing your business? Because those are 2 different things in Primerica. Growing your business, your income will have some roller coaster to it in a upward fashion. If you do it the right way, you listen to your coaches, don't try and change the system. There are instances where taking the best and leaving the rest is necessary, but you're being trained from people who have done that multiple times to find the perfect fluid system that just works. Okay. Listen to them for now. Okay. Until you are making, what they're making, and you've been here a bit and you're able to see the good out of a lot of this stuff and some of the negatives out of some of it. I mean, no business is perfect, right? But it's as perfect can get. So really focus on that, guys. Growing your income versus growing your business. They're 2 different things. So know what you're focusing on. It should be the business part. If you haven't figured that out, growing your business, not growing your income. The income is a byproduct of growing your business. That should always be the key here. Always think about that. If you have to write that down somewhere, write it down somewhere, put out a sticky note on like a mirror or something, like just so that it's a constant reminder that the income is a byproduct of building this business. Building this business here is the only place that you're going to be able to do this wherever you want to go. Okay, remember that. This is the type of business that will allow you to build it wherever you want to go, wherever you are. Okay. It's also the only kind of business that will allow you to own the full business, not just the book of business, but the full business. You now own it. And if you retire and you don't want to work it anymore, you can sell it. Not just walk away and now the book goes to someone else. No, you can sell the entire thing for multi-millions of dollars. If you've built it right and it is built. You guys, this is the only opportunity that will allow you all these things. Okay. Do not waste it. We just left convention. We really, really, really need to be thinking about getting as many recruits as we possibly can. They'll stick, the ones that go 3x3 early on. Okay. Focus on that 3x3 with all the new people. That is what I took from Joe Ward. I hope that you guys get to hear him speak in real time because, oh my gosh, he's incredible. What a leader. Dan, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I'll close up. All right, guys. So with all that being said, guys, all the convention stuff, we're really fired up and excited to get back. So Taylor's going to be doing our office manager stuff. She's going to start stepping into that role as an office manager so we can really scale and grow our business. I know that only pertains, Charles, to our base shop, but I just wanted to let them know really fast. And guys, I assure you that you're going to see higher activity than you've seen ever out of us. You're going to see more focused and more engaged leadership than you guys have seen, and we're ready to take this to the next level. And so I want to just tell you like a couple housekeeping things really quick. Again, if you're not in our organization, this next 3 minutes won't really pertain to you. But your trainer probably has something similar to this, so reach out to them if what I say is of interest to you. So we have a part-timers call and a full-timers call Monday through Friday. So we get on at 9 a.m. and it's 15 minutes, sometimes 20. We do Q&As every now and again. It does roll a little bit long sometimes, but we try to keep it to 20 minutes at the most, from 9 until about 9:15, 9:20, Monday through Friday. Sorry, Tuesday through Friday. Monday, it's from 9 to 10. It is a Zoom call. You don't have to have your camera on, though we really highly encourage it. We always are reminding people to turn their camera on, turn your camera on, turn your camera on. And so as we're doing that, guys, we have a part-timers call and a full-timers call in the morning. And so we're really right now, my goal is from our base shop that we pull 2 to 3 new part-timers into that call every month. Okay, so these are the requirements for you to get on that call, Katie, because I know, Katie, you're brand new. You got some new people, other new people on here. Guys are excited, fired up. You want to win. So how you get on the part-timers call, guys, is it's a commitment that you make to me, your regional vice president, okay, that you will, number one, not miss a call. So, well, Dan, I can't get on because sometimes I'm gonna oversleep and not make it. Well, then probably not a good call for you to get on. Right. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna just be able to make all of them, but maybe I'll make like 3 a week. No, like we need to be on all of them. Okay. Now listen, the other side of that is I understand crap happens, but crap doesn't happen every week. Okay, things happen every now and again. Kid gets sick, phone dies, car charger, whatever. You got a work meeting that you can't reschedule. Listen, we understand that life happens, but if you're getting on the part-timers call, this is absolutely not something that you're going to get on Monday and then not Tuesday and Wednesday and not Thursday. You're going to get kicked right back out of the Telegram group and not be on the call anymore. Okay. It's not because we don't want you to be there, but it's just committed part-timers, people that are ready to go full time. And that's the goal. And that process is part-time to full-time. So number one, we don't miss a meeting. Okay. So you're on all of the part-timers calls Monday through Friday, 9 to 9:20. Okay. And you don't miss a Sunday night. You don't miss a Friday night. Fair enough. We don't miss trainings. If you're a committed, serious part-timer, you don't miss trainings. Cool. The second thing is you commit to setting 2 appointments a day, Monday through Friday, AKA an average of 10 appointments a week. Okay. If you set 10 appointments a week, that is 40 appointments a month. Check this out, Charles. Ready? 40 appointments a month. Half don't show up. Half do. You sit on 20. You suck at Primerica and you close 50%. You're on 20. You close 10 transactions. On average, that should shake out to somewhere between 3 to 7 recruits and 3 to 7 sales. So you're growing your business. You're getting your premium. You're growing you're increasing your activity. You will accidentally become full-time if you do that. Okay, the goal is being on the part-timers call does not mean that you have to say, Dan, I'm going to go full-time. That's not what I said. This is a part-timers call, not a soon-to-be full-timers call, right? This is a part-time. So you might say, Dan, I just want to be part-time forever. I love my job. Great, perfect. Get on that call, though, so you can learn the skills. Okay, and then the goal is to get people to be full-time. Full-timers, we do a call right after that. It's from 9:20 to 9:45, 10 o'clock, depending on the day. And guys, those calls are there to train you on how to do the things that make you money. Listen, I'm going to say something. Some of you aren't going to like it. God bless you. We make more money than you do. I'm going to teach you how to make more money than you're making right now on those calls. Okay. So to get on those calls, to earn the ability to be on those calls, you need to commit to not missing meetings and setting 2 appointments a day. Does it make sense? Like if you can commit to that, we put you on the calls. Charles, I don't know if y'all got something like that or not, but if anybody on your team is interested, reach out to Charles. Charles can get it going for you guys because I know Charles, the reason we paired up is because Charles also wants to grow and win. Right, guys? And listen, we're going to do something super big. I'm super excited, guys. Listen, 50 people at Midwest Builder School. We got 90 days. There's 15 of you all on. I think about 12 from our team are on right now. Listen, if all of us get 3 people to go plus us, that's 50. It's really not rocket science. We just got to buckle down and make it happen, guys. I'm super excited for you all. I love you guys. Have an amazing night. For our team,